What's up, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Gaming, where we talk about the latest news, topics, and whatever we bloody well like. I'm Reginald, your host for this show, but of course I am not on my own. I'm joined by Luke from Luke and James Play.
Good evening, good folks of AlwaysGamesTV. It is I, Luke. Yeah, I haven't been online for a while, and here I am.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Freshly showered. Look at this.
I'm trying to catch you up with the beard, so I'm getting.
Yeah, but I mean, you might be trying to actively grow it. I'm actively trimming it down.
Okay. Do you what you're on about? Yours reverts the other way. You mean, or
yeah, but the issue is my head doesn't focus on growing it up here. It just fully concentrates all of its power to my chin and surrounding area. So you're lucky. You've got, not quite even split.
Well,
you've got more here. Trust me, you want more here than you do here. Trust me.
Well, the problem is, I struggle to grow a beard at the sides, but I look like I shave mine into a goatee. But it actually grows like that. It's really weird. It's really thick around here, and then really shit and patchy on the cheek. So can't grow a beard. And we're also joined by Belle from Luke and James. James from Luke and James Play.
How's it going? We got puppy cam today instead of my face, so enjoy that.
Oh my god.
Sleepy baby puppy, you're so cute.
So she's 8 weeks old, yeah?
8 weeks old, yeah.
And how long have you had her?
Fresh out of her mother.
4 days.
Oh, she's adorable.
And out of those 4 days, how many of them have you slept?
3. Like, she's just been waking up during the night, that's all.
Oh, she'd be lonely, but like, she got tips like from her mother, and now being with you guys. It's that. Have you got like a big teddy bear for her to cuddle up to?
Yeah, Jake's not exactly being the nicest to her at the moment either, so obviously she's trying to get used to him.
Yeah, he's made of sausage.
So what type of dog is Jake?
He's a dachshund.
Ah, so he's a bit like, my God, there's a puppy in the house.
He's not a very socialised dog in the first place. He's always been a bit grumpy towards other dogs and stuff like that.
And not only that, he's got a puppy to put up with.
Yeah, not vicious or anything like that, but he's just a bit like, I don't want any of what you're into, so just leave me alone, kind of thing.
To be honest, that sounds like me with general people, to be honest.
Yeah, so he's all right. I mean, he's slowly warming up to, obviously, but I am doing basic training between the two.
Mm-hmm. That's really good.
So it's
That's really good. And to be honest, like, she'll watch him and see what he does, and then she'll learn off him and things like that. Cause like,
they basically just need to learn dog rules of living, and that's what they slowly learn.
Dog rules.
Well, like for example, Alfie McCockapoo, he's turning 10 in July, I think. But then my sister has got a puppy German Shepherd, and so we take them walking together. And Monty, the German Shepherd, doesn't quite know the interactions with other dogs and what you should do. So he keeps trying to stand on Alfie. And Alfie's turned into a bit of a miserable old shit, to be absolutely honest. And he will happily put up with him, but then as soon as he tries standing on him, it kind of it snarls a little bit and then do like a little nip.
Yeah.
It's basically it's like, stop it, we don't do that.
It's funny you say that, because like all of the training guides and stuff I looked at between like introducing an older dog to a younger dog and vice versa, and that there was a woman, she said she raises puppies from 8 weeks old until they get adopted. So she has 3 permanent dogs that are family pets. Mm-hmm. But over the last 15 years, she gets 1 puppy a year. And she's introduced 15 puppies to her 3 family pets over 15 years. So she's like, and there's 3 things that I've always seen amongst it, is they've never welcomed them with open arms. Like, they've never just straight away gone, sweet, new puppy, I like you. They've always had a specific kind of like set of rules for that puppy, and they've always been the same. And one of them was no jumping on my head, no biting my ears or tail, and no standing on me.
Yep.
You can be near me, but don't touch me.
It does sound like me.
Yeah.
You can be near me, just don't touch me. Don't bite my ears.
So she is learning slowly, bless her. But
that's the only thing. Is like they just got to learn doggy social skills
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
she's got the live stream social skills down though.
She has. Yeah, she's just such a cool dog.
You see, everybody, this is what happens with puppies. We put them to sleep before we go live. You'll just go to sleep during we're live. So, as I said, we're going to be talking about Days Gone and a little bit of World War II, and plus anything what you guys want to talk about as well. So
puppies, clearly.
Puppies. Puppy Simulator. First topic. So you're thinking about getting Days Gone tonight, James. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I picked it up. Technically pre-ordered it. I ordered it the day before it got released, so I could do the pre-download and then get it when it went live. Luke, so have you had a go on Days Gone?
I've not played it. I've only watched a few reviews on it. I was really hyped for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And likewise, I don't usually let reviews affect me, my decision, but it does sway my decision when I've only got limited funds for games. Normally, I can just buy games willy-nilly, but at the moment, between jobs, I can't really throw money away like that. So I let the reviews sort of sway my decision in making me delay purchasing it. I'm not going to pick
a realistic sort of normal purchaser's dilemma.
Yeah, really. Usually I'm like, game, want it, buy it. Yeah. Like I don't even let people try and change my mind. Like with Fallout 76, things like that. Like normally I don't pay attention, but with this one, I thought, well, it's not going anywhere. No one's going to spoil the story for me, I don't think. So
that's a really good phrase. It's not going anywhere. It's been
but to be fair, in to counter my own point, God of War, the all-time best so far game on the PS4 apparently, which a lot of people probably would agree. I did the same thing. I was like, I'm not that fussed. I'll get it when I get it, and I still haven't purchased it. But
definitely
I think that's
worth a pickup.
Yes, I know it is. One of the main things is I have an old PS4, and I know for a fact
spits out games.
Yeah, it shoots the discs out, but also. It's way much better played on a PS4 Pro, and if you've got 4K TV, which I don't have, which I would have done if I was a full-time console gamer like me and Jim used to be. We was always we would have had Xbox One X, we would have had PS4 Pros, we would have had 4K TVs. Because we're on PCs now, we don't. I mean, Jim's probably the same. We sort of just think, well, our computer could play 4K if I had a 4K monitor, so I don't really want to shell out all that money and blah blah blah. If I want to experience God of War, I could borrow it off Jim's brother-in-law. He's got it, so. I just never got around to buying it. Sorry, off a tangent there.
No.
Likewise, Jim's probably bought that as well.
But you're in a situation which is we're not
adult.
I know Ed doesn't like to categorize us as gamers, but we are gamers. It's something that we do. So we do
definitely a game.
We prioritize it a little bit up in what we sort of categorize in our life, for example. So,
dude, it's definitely in my top 5.
Yeah, exactly. So you focus.
One of my children doesn't match
that. That's number 6. So you focus a little bit of your money on gaming. So when a new one comes out, that's what you're gonna get. But a lot of people can't do that. They've got other.
I know all my money used to go on games. Yeah,
and so you find yourself in a situation that you are the normal person who unfortunately can't buy a game as it comes out, just in case, especially if it's got a little bit iffy reviews, which Days Gone has got across the board, not just at one site. So I played around about. Okay, let me just work this out. I'd say about 6 to 7 hours of it. So I'm still quite early on in game. Yeah, I've got a good feel of it. I've got obviously a handle of the mechanics of it. I've explored quite a bit of the map now. I've done some of the missions, the story aspect of it. And so I actually made a list of good and bad. So
before that, in regards to your 7 hours of playtime, does your character level up as time goes on?
So, yes, you do have XP. So, as you complete...
So that's one thing I will say with games like that. Annoyingly, games like that, I don't know if this will have one or not, but it tends to be that a game where you level up as a character all the way to the through seems to flourish in a New Game Plus environment.
Yes.
So, like Dark Souls, if you've ever played Dark Souls, New Game Plus, and then it goes plus. So it just
plus
goes
15,
on
I think, doesn't it? Yeah.
But that game in New Game Plus, I would recommend anyone. It's very frustrating on your first playthrough. I understand it's difficult. It doesn't get any easier on your second one, but you enjoy it thoroughly more. I promise you.
Yeah. So I don't think this is going to be one of them games where a Game Plus is probably going to be a good idea.
Right, okay.
Because you've already seen it all going through it.
Well, I think it's more that it's a lot of the side quests. Well, side quests, they're still reasonable story quests. Are very repetitive. And like the one open world game that I did do on Game Plus is The Witcher 3. And mainly because wherever you went and whatever you did felt different and fresh.
Yeah, it was fundamentally the same, like all games. But some do a very good job of tricking you into thinking they're not the same.
Exactly.
And apparently this game doesn't do a very good job of that.
No. And
you very much know.
A perfect example of it is when I went, like, so what I want to do is when I talk about this, I wanted to compare it to two games. And one of them is The Witcher 3 and the other one is The Last of Us. Days Gone is kind of two games in one. So it
borrows a lot of things.
You've got the not hardcore, but the core elements of the gameplay of moving around on your feet and doing attacks and stealth and combat, which is very reminiscent of The Last of Us. And then you've got the open world aspect, which I want to compare it to Witcher 3. So I'm going to be comparing it in two different aspects. So the first fact I want to compare it to is obviously Witcher 3. The world itself that it's set in is amazing. It's visually good looking. It's great. It's very believable, the scenario that they've found themselves in. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere where it's set. I'm not entirely sure where it's set.
It's Oregon, isn't it?
Oregon.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Or is it Ohio? Oregon.
I think it's Oregon.
Yeah.
So the world is like the natural environment's very nice. It's basically if this happened in a zombie apocalypse. No, they're not zombies. They're freakers. They're a little bit like I Am Legend sort of creatures.
Yeah.
And the movie, not the book. So very different. And this is where you would go. You would go to the middle of nowhere because it'll be easier for you to survive than going to
100%.
a city or
lower population.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to build a base, hopefully survive, and there's going to be elements of community. There's going to be like basically on one aspect of the game, someone says only the most horrible people survived because they are the ones who are the gits, the one who only care about themselves.
The ones that were willing to do what it took to survive, basically. That's
criminals.
The unfortunate part about if our society broke down to that.
Yes.
Is the psychopaths and the bad people would survive. And
basically, this elderly woman says basically like the psychopaths, the criminals, and the rapists. And that's what basically is left. It's like it's a hostile environment. And yes, there is still some okayish people around, but they are almost imprisoned by these people who are not very nice, but they're protecting them, and they're like saying like there's only a few people nice. They're like doing a little bit of like farming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're going to protect them, but we're also going to treat them like shit.
Yeah, well, they're like a commodity, I suppose, to them, aren't they?
They're slaves.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And so you've got these, like, it's very much like the Walking Dead sort of series where there's patches of communities that are very, very small, but they're trying to survive and deal with what's happened. Then, obviously, you've got the Freakers, which are an interesting sort of take on zombies. Like I said, it's very much like I Am Legend's Creatures, the movie.
See, the premise of this is literally giving me a game boner.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, the setting is great. Visually, it is great. However... okay, I'm trying to think how to build this in. One, obviously, it's a very ambitious game for Ben Studios because they did games like Syphon Filter back in the day, which are very linear.
I love Syphon Filter.
Great games, but very linear, very linear. This is more open. The issue you can sort of tell what they've had is bugs. A lot of bug problems. I played it on my first playthrough for about a couple of hours. I ran into about 5 bugs. Quite standouty bugs as well. Like one of them was I was approaching a camp with enemies, and they spotted me, and I was like, bugger, I really need to work on my not being spotted. So I was hiding and sort of moving around a little bit, and then someone came towards me, knew I was there, brought up the gun, and it was like as if the only way I could just sort of describe it in my head was, and try and roleplay, was that they got scared of me that much that they decided to just point the gun at me and walk away. But they kept following an actual path. Like, they were actually like as if they knew where they were going, and kept walking around rocks, and they'd keep walking away. And then walk down the hill. And I was watching them for ages. And they just kept going, and they were going for miles. And then a wolf ran out and killed them. I was like...
But this is what I like. Can I say, like, I know games have bugs and things like that, right? But, and Two Worlds was one of the games that, for real, was, like, people hated that game. I absolutely loved it. And I think the bugs made that game. That was a bug, but it's made you, you've remembered it as a really funny moment in your game because he ended up getting eaten by a wolf and stuff like that. So was that bug really a problem?
It wasn't. That one wasn't a problem. That was quite funny. That made me laugh. And then the second guy then went to go check on that person. That person got eaten by a wolf as well. So I was like wetting myself in the first, like, that was in the first 20 minutes of play.
Great.
The second one was a bit more, I had to do a restart, which was annoying. So I had climbed up onto, it was basically like a cabin, and I was fending off some of the freakers, and I did a roll and then glitched into the roof, and so I was basically, my waist up was sticking out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pain in the butt.
And then the freakers were trying to jump on me, but they couldn't hit me. And I was just
you were sort of stuck.
And I was just like, that was kind of annoying, sort of. So I had to reset that. So it's not overly stable, which is a little bit annoying and frustrating. Go on.
I was just going to say, haven't they kicked out an update to
They've
address
done a lot.
issue?
They've done about, I think, even since the preview codes went out to some of the reviewers, they've done about 6 updates or something like that.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Bye, Belle. Hey, bye. She's so cute. She's adorable.
She's just sleeping.
She's like, leave me alone. What? No. I'm on a live stream. I'm looking cute.
Touch the puppy.
Oh my god, she's so adorable. She's like, what? No. No, where am I going, Dad? So there's aspects of that which are a little bit annoying and a little bit frustrating. Yeah. But obviously not at the end of the world. Like you say, they can patch it out. The one with the person walking backwards away from me was like, it's not game breaking, it was just amusing more than anything else.
Yeah.
But like I said, the world is amazing. The story is interesting. It's intriguing. Okay. However, I probably should wait for James to come back on this one, but the way that it delivers the story is a little bit disjointed. So it does the open world thing, so you find out more of the story as you do quests. He does like memories, he does like flashbacks of what how his life was before and the outbreak. But it's like, for example, it shows no spoilers, but it shows you an aspect of when the outbreak has just happened. And instead of doing the Last of Us sort of thing where it shows you from A to B in this situation, it then goes, you're with this person. Oh no, there's freakers. It'll then instantly cut to a different moment about 10 minutes after that happened. And then they're being like, we're in a warehouse now. Right. Oh no, they're at the door. Someone's shooting at us. And then they go, don't worry, I'll sneak around him and get him. And then it'll cut a few minutes later and he's then behind him. And you're like going, where's the in-between bits? Like, I was expecting to play that, and there wasn't. And that was a bit jarring. It's like as if they tried to just knit it together, and so that was a bit weird. That's just a bit strange. Other aspects of it are really good. And also, I just want to point out that Sam Whitworth, the voice actor and the guy who plays him from The Force Unleashed, and also does the voice for...
Oh, it is that guy?
Yeah.
I thought it was him.
He does the motion
capture
voice.
The chin gives it away.
He does. He has a very, very recognisable chin. He also does the voice for Darth Maul in the Clone series and Rebels as well. But
I fucking knew it was that guy.
he's so good. He's amazing in the cinematics. His expressions on his face. For example, again, no spoilers, but a gunshot goes off over his head, and you see the utter shock in his face, and it's quite amusing as well. He's just like, oh Jesus! And he's meant to be like a hardened biker, and he literally just shits his pants. So that is really, really fun. However, his voice acting in the actual gameplay is just odd. It's like it's just like, so you see in the actual cinematics, it's very realistic and very thing. I was then, for example, just approaching a camp, and he's going, "I can't wait to kill you, fucking bastards! I'm gonna rip you apart. If you scavenge people in the street, and then you ambush them. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you." And he's like that, and you're going, "Where did that come from?" Like, it literally just starts. It goes from getting off his bike, and then just goes into this rambling of insanity, and you're going, okay, he's obviously traumatized, but this is a little much just coming from nowhere. So it's like, again, I
mean, it's hard to judge that because he's out there on his own. You know, what state of mind would you be in if you're going to kill a bunch of people in a camp?
I know, but it goes from one extreme to another with no real context. So it's not as if he's something. It's shown that
Psychosis does that though.
True. It just seemed a little much to me, and to a point, it just stuck out in my head. I'm going, what the hell?
But yeah, I get where Roger's coming because the game hasn't gone. So this guy might have psychosis.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
It's like he's just supposed to be like a tough biker dude, and then he's like, I want to fucking kill everyone.
Oh, fucking tear intestines out through your asshole.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you. But when he talks to his best mate, is like he's the reasonable one.
Boomer, is it?
No,
Boomer?
No, the actual character you're playing as is the reasonable one, Deacon, but then his best mate is the tough, hardened one. And you're like, dude, okay, we just need to make sure you're okay. Just rest up for a bit. And he's going, no, I need to get out on the bike. And you're like, no, just rest up. And then you go and go, I'm going to fucking kill everybody. I'm going to fucking Doesn't really have the balance there, really. So there's that aspect, which is good. It's really good, but then also a little bit weird. The lore within the world is really interesting. You hear audio logs, which obviously are very iconic of a lot of open world games, but they do give you those little bit of windows into the world, and then you hear the horror. You literally hear people being ripped apart by these creatures because you're coming across secure camps, but when you get there, everything's fucked. It's like there's nobody there. There's freakers everywhere, and you're like, okay, pick up an audio recording, and you hear someone talking, do an audio report, and go, oh my god, they're broken. And you hear someone in the distance say, they've broken the barriers. Look how and there's someone's literally screaming down the microphone, like, someone please help us. And you can literally hear them gargling and that's quite good. Very the lore behind it's very interesting.
I must say, I'm actually not turned off by anything you've been saying.
No, all he's doing is reinforcing my want to have it.
The world is amazing. The characters are quite believable as well. That is the strongest aspect of this game. And
one thing you haven't mentioned yet, though.
Go on then.
Gameplay. It's a game. Yeah, gameplay. It's gameplay. It's a game.
So, let's take it to the next bit, which is traveling around.
Okay.
So
your bike.
You're moving on your bike.
Your bike.
Very sluggish. It feels very, just not very satisfying.
It's a crapper though, isn't it? Isn't it a crapper to start with?
You start off with a souped up bike at the beginning.
Oh right, and then
something happens. You no longer have that, and then you start off with a basic bike. Both versions felt shit.
Oh, okay.
They felt a bit.
Okay.
I was when I got on the bike, I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be I don't know, just really satisfying, and I felt like I was driving through treacle, and I was a bit and then I'd sort of do a bit of a slide and then go over. It just didn't feel overly impressive to play. That bit. It felt a little bit annoying. Charles in the chat, good evening, lads and ladies.
So bringing the bike into question, when you're playing the game and stuff like that, is the bike mainly used for just traveling between areas and saving, or is it more of a vital gameplay mechanic?
Yes to both. So basically, it is traveling. It is the traveling aspect of it. There's no other
which a lifeline is.
Yeah, you do need to maintain it with petrol, so it does run out of petrol. So you have to make sure you keep it topped up, otherwise it'll just break down. You need to fix it with scrap as well.
Yeah.
To make sure it doesn't get too damaged. Which I drove it off a cliff. To forewarn you, it does damage.
That would do it.
Yeah.
That would break it. Yeah.
That did it quite a bit. But also, what was your other question?
So,
is it vital
regarding
gameplay mechanic?
Traveling and stuff like that, I understand that obviously you need to repair it and stuff like that. So, how I mean is me and Luke have recently been playing Dying Light, the buggy DLC. Haven't played it yet, so been playing through that. That is not just a travel mechanic. That is used effectively as a weapon. it's now in your arsenal of weapons. You upgrade it, and you can do different stuff to zombies and stuff like that.
So you can run over zombies.
Yeah,
okay.
So like that, but that becomes a massive, like it's a good 50 or 60% of the focus of that game play in that particular area is that buggy. So when the bike comes into play, it's either if it's too big of a part of the game and it feels like shit, then it's going to ruin the game. However, if it's just for traveling and maybe running the odd one or two over when they get in your way.
Yeah, but you probably do a lot of traveling.
You do a lot of traveling. A lot of traveling. There is gameplay mechanics involved with it. So, for example, you might get chased by wolves when you're traveling, so you'll be shooting off your bike and stuff like that. You might have to chase down people for bounties, so you get given bounty missions and stuff like that.
Okay, so
and you might have to nudge them or shoot them. It's not a massive aspect of the game. There's only a small.
But when it comes into what you've just mentioned, that's when it becomes annoying if it's a bad mechanic, because traveling and it being a bad mechanic I can cope with, because I'll just find my own ways of getting around it and making it a bit easier on myself. However, if I've then got to start chasing bounties for missions and it's shit, that's going to make a normally fun mission, or just to get it out of the way mission, a fucking uphill struggle. That's just going to frustrate me and make me go, fuck this, put the controller down and walk away for an hour. That's not good.
When I say it's annoying to drive, it's not annoying because it's difficult to drive. It's very easy to drive. Like when I chased him down the bounty, I literally shot him a couple of times. I literally saw, like, okay, he's going to go around this corner, and literally nudged his back wheel. He drove off, hit the tree, that his bike exploded. And I was like, that felt pretty cool, but my bike just feels very... just doesn't feel
heavy.
Right. Yeah, it feels really heavy. And it meant to be a bit of an off-roading bike as well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel it. I would just be like, It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, I'm probably going to be refreshing that phrase a few times during this. And this kind of sums up the game. It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Yeah, so that's one part I didn't have a go of, was the bike.
Yeah, see, it's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
It's mediocre.
It's there.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I have travelled quite a bit now, where from A to B and stuff like that, and I've actually I don't do a lot of this within open world games, but I've started fast travelling. I don't usually do that, just because I'm like, you're having to micromanage the petrol, and I'm like, oh, God, it's such a literally the missions can take you from one side of the map to the other, to hand in a mission where that one person just goes, cheers. And you go, couldn't you have just said that over the radio?
Yeah.
And you're like, and like that is literally, they don't give you anything else. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, and then.
But it's, the thing is with open world games, is this where I kind of disagree with some people when they do this, because yes, it's sending you from one side of the island to the other. And this is where fast traveling kind of ruins these aspects, because some people just be like, right, here I'm at A and I need to get to B. Done. What I do, and what probably Luke does, and I imagine you do, I don't know if you've done it on this occasion, is get 5 seconds down the road, get distracted and fuck off for an hour, and then go, oh shit, I was doing something. And then you go, and then 5 seconds down the road, you get distracted and you fuck off and you do something. And it's just, and that cycle. But because of that, I don't remember it just being, oh, I got there and they went, oh, you know, cheers, fuck off.
I think the
because I made my own journey in between it.
Again,
so like Skyrim, I don't fast travel. I always run everywhere.
I'm comparing to Witcher. When you come across something, it's usually got a story aspect to it to give you a form of lore. And
there's usually quite a good payoff no matter what you're doing, isn't there?
This, if you do get distracted, it'll probably due to these, they're called Nero outposts, where basically Nero was like a research company which was trying to maybe help cure the virus and things like that.
Right.
And these are where like these cabins are and things like that. And if you clear them out and you turn them on, they're a bit like the Ubisoft style of where it pings, but this just doesn't ping, if you know what I mean. It's just a location where you can then fast travel to later. It doesn't do... There's one thing about the game I do like. It doesn't do the traditional sort of Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed thing where you have to go to the tower, look around, and unlock something.
Ping it.
Doesn't do that. But these things, they just give you a fast travel location.
Right.
There's those that can distract you. They're kind of the same. Every single one, which can be a little bit like, so it doesn't distract you for too long, maybe 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
The other thing that'll distract you, you might come across a bandit camp, maybe. I'm calling them bandits anyway. They're a little bit different, depending on the location of them. That can vary up. But again,
so we're getting similar to a Far Cry feel here. Is the outposts are effectively the same, but
that's what a lot of people said. It does all of what a lot of other games have done before, but just
with zombies
not,
or whatever.
Well, but not as well, or not.
I wouldn't say it does it any worse. I just feel it's very...
Yeah, but like you've already done it before in Far Cry. You've already done it before in this. Now you're just doing it in the same this game.
I think, to be honest, as like I'm describing it, the thing that I'm actually coming up with in my head is that it feels like a game that should have come out about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And if it
which
it
probably was.
Crackdown
3 is a perfect example of that.
And so like the world itself is great. Traveling is a little bit mediocre. So the general gameplay of just moving around, walking on your feet, for example, doing attacking, shooting, melee, this is where it can be a little bit hit and miss. So the shooting is, again, very, very okay. It's okay. It's very Uncharted-esque. You can get into cover.
Yeah.
See, I quite enjoy. I personally didn't mind the shooting. That's mainly what I did.
I'm just like I feel like I'm coming down on it quite hard. I am enjoying my time with it. I am actually enjoying it. It's just if you're expecting.
Yes, but you've done it for a short time.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, I am enjoying my time, but I'm also being quite critical about it as well. Like, as much as I feel like I'm coming down on it, I am enjoying my time with it. I just don't know whether or not I will actually get to the end of the game. This is my concern. But the shooting aspects are reasonably okay. Yeah, you kind of like cover. You bring up your gun. It'll have the little circle. It'll then focus slightly, and then you can ping. You get a headshot, instant kill. Great. A few different sorts of guns, which is quite nice. Gives you quite a low amount of ammunition, which is quite cool, because then you're having to really sort of think, okay, well, I've only got 2 shots on this shotgun. You have a primary, secondary, and then a special weapon. You don't get a lot of ammunition for them. So you might have to
I've seen a lot of people use just melee. They try and stick with melee.
To be honest, this is where it gets a little bit of a problem, because melee is just so overpowered. I have started running into a camp now of like 15 people, just holding, and they've all got machine guns and sniper rifles and shotguns. I'm running in with an axe, can just start hacking at someone, do a dodge roll. You just know when people are going to shoot at you. If you start running towards someone, they don't shoot you. It's really weird.
Really?
They'll just sort of, if you get really close to them, they'll be like, it's like as if, admittedly, I guess it's kind of a natural reaction, like, what the fuck is he doing? But then you just swing and hit them. Then you just do a quick roll, hit them again, quick roll, hit them again, run for the next person, roll, hit them, roll, hit them. Your weapon might break. Just bring out your knives to start swiping at them. It'll take you a bit of time, but you're probably going to survive. That's fighting your general sort of bandit people. So that can be a bit annoying. It's like, I wish they could just sort of take it down a notch with that, and maybe sort of you have to think a little bit more tactically instead of just going, well, this is so overpowered, I can just run in there and just kick everybody's ass with an axe. So that's a little bit annoying. The Freakers, the combat with them, you can't do that really, because they're going to swarm you. And it's like, when you're fighting actual people, they'll back off away if you're fighting people. One person, unless they've got a melee weapon themselves. The Freakers will just kind of just pile on top of you, and you're going to have to run. And when you get large groups of them, this is where it starts to get quite good fun. And you'll come across things called nests. Now, nests is where, like, these creatures are not the undead. They're actually primitive forms of us, but just like nuts, and they want to carve you to pieces. So they actually have, well, they breed, basically. So they have places to sleep. They have children. They eat each other to survive.
Oh,
so
really?
It's really that's the one aspect again with a game which I find really intriguing. Like you see the children versions of them, and then I think you call them critters, I think, or something like that.
Oh right.
And they'll scuttle off because they're scared of you, because they're like children version of the Freakers, but they will attack you if they feel threatened. So it's kind of really intriguing. So you're like, okay, they'll run away, but if I get near to them, like I had one which was on the roof, and it scuttled off up there, and it was watching me for ages. And then when I walked past at one point, it jumped on me and got hold of me, and I was just like, fucking up. And
do you know the one thing I will say that's really standing out to me, like talking through your game, you've got all these wonderful, awesome little stories that I don't think you're you're looking at and thinking actually, because like you've got all these funny little stories all the way through it. You've already told me about one time when a guy backed off and then got eaten by a wolf. His mate went and got him and got eaten by a wolf. We've had the little baby one that ran off and he was actually watching you for ages and then it just suddenly attacked you and shit like that. Like, we have got these funny little stories that are coming out.
I feel like I'm coming down on it. It's just, like, again, the time I'm playing with it, it is fun. It's not as good as I hoped, and I think that's probably the problem. And again, we've discussed this numerous times about overhyping games and things like that, and maybe I was just expecting something just a little bit that gravitas. I think I said, just as you nipped off, James, the nipping together of the cinematic stories seems a little bit jarring, so it kind of skips a little bit in between while it's trying to tell a scenario. Bit odd. Bit odd, that bit. But overall, the gameplay is okay. It's the general combat is okay. The one thing that again like a little story that I had was there's these nests, like I say, where they sleep and they only come out at night. They're nocturnal and they're much more dangerous in bad weather as well. And that can change, that's dynamic.
Sorry, Roger. What's the deal with these guys that are on camera right now? They're torturing Boom.
So these are other NPCs. These are called, I think, Rippers. And
like a gang or whatever.
Yeah, these guys are nuts. They're absolute nut jobs.
Yeah, look at them.
So these are like almost more dangerous than the Freakers, because the Freakers you can actually work out what they do. They're quite sort of predictable because they're like creatures, so you can work out how they'll react to things.
Yeah,
these guys, people are very scared of these in the world, the Rippers, because they are unpredictable. You have no idea what they're going to do to you. They may be getting close. Are they coming for supplies to try and raid you? Are they coming to possibly just kill everyone because they want to? They have no real logic to what they do. And so these guys, I haven't run into many of them, but I think that's going to happen a little bit further into the game. But they're just really cool. Odd. One thing about the shotgun, actually, which I'm just firing at them now, very satisfying to fire. Very satisfying.
Yeah, it's got quite long range.
Yeah, reasonable amount of range on it. Not too. If you get them close, you'll get an instant kill. But like, I'll have a Freaker running at me, and if you bring it up at last second and fire it, it literally does like a backflip on the spot because it's like really close range. So there's these nests for Freakers, and what you need to do is burn them out. And if you manage to burn out a certain set number of them in a particular location, that location then becomes fast travelable, basically. So you can It's basically like ticking the boxes on open world sort of style of gameplay. I had this one mission which was to do with Boozer. I think it's Boozer, the guy who's on screen with you now. He wants to go out and clear this particular area, but he's a bit injured at the moment. So you got Dory, I'll go. So I went, and there's about 6 nests, and the way to destroy these is by setting fire to them through Molotovs and stuff like that. And well, I only had 2 Molotovs, so I destroyed 2 of this, and then I had to go looking in this area for more craftable materials. I actually spent about half an hour to 40 minutes in this one little place, just trying to find petrol and rags and bottles, and just slowly trying to figure out how I can burn these out. But then by the time I got halfway through it, it turned to nighttime. So then the freezers started coming out. So then I had to like work out how to destroy the nests and fend them off at the same time. And I think at one point I had about 20 or 30 of them like chasing me, and I was just running around in circles just trying to stay away from them. But that's, again, there's aspects of it which are really fun and really interesting. It's just that some of it's starting to turn a little bit repetitive, and I'm getting a little bit bored of some of the side missions, and that's my only concern. The weapons are great fun.
I mean, you're not that far into it either, and you're already recognizing that.
Yes.
So, but did you read reviews and stuff that put that in your head before you played it? I already started
playing it. So I played about... I did make note of this because I was wondering if it had affected my opinion, but then I was like, no, I guess I agree with that, and I agree with that. So I've got about 4.5 hours in before I heard... I haven't read any reviews. I've just been hearing like some of the things what people have been saying. So, so I got about halfway through my gameplay session before I started hearing anybody's point of view on it.
Okay.
I think the point is, well, Jim found out everything he needed. He's like, okay. That was timed quite well.
He was like, okay.
He went, boop, turned it off.
You guys, I'm going. So, like, as a bit of a wrap up, if you enjoy. Hey, James, how you doing?
The timing was great on that, Jim.
Was it?
You went.
Yeah, you
okay.
went. Roger was like, and that's that, and you went, and then just sort of and just got it off immediately. And it was like, well, we got it.
I've just the reason I did that is because I accidentally hit the wrong thing on my keyboard. Lost Planet 2 is only £2 on Steam right now.
Oh, that's cheap. That's very cheap.
That is very cheap, and that's an amazing game.
So
highly recommend it to anyone watching. Go and get it for £2.
As a wrap up for how I feel towards Days Gone, if you enjoy your zombie stories, you will love this game. If you enjoyed The Last of Us, you will enjoy this game. It's not as good as some zombie games. It's not as good as The Last of Us. It's not as good as some open world games. But it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's good fun. I think, to be honest, James, if you're looking forward to playing it, you will enjoy this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
That's the thing. I think I just don't want to pay full price for it. I know, because like years of gaming have taught me that games will be cheap, like eventually. Like you just got to wait long enough and they'll be like half price.
Yeah.
So it's like I can just wait till then, and I'll walk into a shop one day and go, oh look, the Days Gone's like 20 quid, sweet, I'll have that.
I think this is a really good stepping stone between Last of Us and Last of Us 2. You know, because you know what I mean. It's like it's a nice filling point for us until Last of Us 2 appears.
Yeah.
And then
that's not a good like thing really for a game like this. Like what people expected from it. Like you know, it was supposed to be I remember being quite a big deal.
Well,
I think that's a lot
long time ago. I think it was, but I feel like it's just taken a while to come out.
Yeah, I think again one of the aspects of it as well, which I apparently comes up later in the game, is I haven't met any hordes yet, and apparently it's quite like I'm about 7 or 8 hours in. Apparently, it's
they're pretty impressive, aren't they?
30+ hours apparently until you actually see one.
My friend Jim said he was in a bandit camp, started using guns quite like proficiently, and was making a shitload of noise, and all of a sudden a horde of about 200 come over the hill.
Oh, Jesus. No, I haven't met any yet. I haven't seen any. That'll be a moment. I will get back to you on how that turns out.
Your first encounter of it.
I'm kind of hoping a wolf will just appear and eat them all. Like,
yeah, every single one of them.
One by one, as they back away from you.
They'll all go, but no, to be honest, I think it's been overly criticised by the websites. I don't think it's as bad as they make it out. It's good fun. It's a gorgeous game. The control systems are interesting. The level up skills are fair enough. You know, there's nothing outstanding with them. Being very nitpicky, which I thought, I don't know, quite video gamey these days, is the UI on the actual gameplay screen.
Right. Okay.
Really, really nitpicking. I remember thinking one of the lads I used to work with at my old job, he's a UX designer, so he looks at visuals on websites and stuff like that. He'd have not been impressed with like the health bar and the stamina bar because it looks so plain. Like it's literally just
it's
rectangle and that is it. Like there's no sort of design to it. It's a bit, well, we'll put that there,
basic.
Put that there, done.
Yeah. Bare minimum.
So that's like, I remember seeing that thinking, looks a bit cheap. But no, overall, it's a good fun game. If you like your zombies, if you like your open world, it's a good fun game. How it is for the next 20-30 hours, I don't know. I will fill you all in as I get a little bit further into it. But for the time being, it's good fun.
I think I would definitely give it a go. I may wait. However, I am still definitely going to get it because I know I'm going to enjoy it. So
yeah, I think you will. I do honestly think you will. The world is amazing. The world it's set in and the lore behind it is very interesting. The Freakers sort of how they've thought them up, like they're very much like say I Am Legend style of creatures where they're not the undead, and that's what makes them really intriguing to me.
Yeah,
they're actual just creatures that we've just like reverted into our primal selves. That's really cool.
That's what Last of Us did really well because they weren't quite dead. They would
be taken over and
by the cordyceps or whatever it's called.
Really,
which is an actual real
real
parasite.
Yes, they affect ants totally and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my roundup of so far of Days Gone. If anybody's watching over the live stream, sorry I haven't really turned to you guys and really spoken to you. I'll be chatting to these things. Let us know what you think to Days Gone down in the comments. Are you having good fun with it? Is it not as what you expected? Are you agreeing with the websites that have done reviews? I personally don't agree with the websites. I think it's a little bit better than what they're saying it is, but it's not perfect. That's what I would say.
I definitely will still give it a go. I think
I certainly will. I think, to be honest, what your reaction to what I've been saying, James, I think you really will enjoy it. For you, Luke, I'd probably say, like as you are saying, wait for it to come down in price.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I can wait for it.
Next bit I want to talk about. Have you guys played World War Z yet?
No, not yet.
You two are gonna love it.
Really?
Okay? Your channel is based about co-op gameplay. Okay? It is Left 4 Dead, but just newer. You two are gonna love it. I think you honestly you'll have good fun.
I've had the same. It's the same problem with that. Like both these games, I've been keeping an eye on massive. Like I've been watching.
Have you got it then, Roger?
Yes.
I'm assuming.
I've got it on PlayStation 4. I got it digitally for £33 or £34.
See, me and Jim actually got an offer to get a review copy, but due to us not finishing a different review, I didn't ask them for it. But otherwise, we could have had it. But I know I would like it.
I to be honest, it's what I just did one of the Moscow missions. I haven't been playing with other people. That's how to play it, really. It's play with other people. I've been playing it on my own. It's okay playing on your own. It can become a bit dull after a little while, but the main fun is playing with your friends and cranking it up to extreme difficulty, and then just watch the world burn. It's so much fun. Obviously, very much like from Left 4 Dead, get from A to B. There's certain points within the mission that don't change. You'll have to flick that switch for open that door. You'll press that button and it'll make a noise. Hordes will come. But the level of zombie amount will differ on each playthrough. It'll also adjust on difficulty level as well. And it'll also adjust your friendly fire. And when you're playing with others, friendly fire is kind of hard not to do. I've shot the NPCs numerous times, and it's seriously really like I'm sure I think I've killed a couple of them.
But that's because NPCs don't do what you think. Like if I was standing next to you or just shooting a gun, you wouldn't go, "Hang on, Luke," or just run straight past me.
The thing that we would do though is like, for example, if there's different different types of zombies. So you've got the ones a bit like Left 4 Dead. You got the ones that jump on you. You got the big bruiser ones that come running in, and the big bruiser one will grab you. And my temptation would be to start shooting. Don't worry, Luke, I got it, and start shooting towards you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, James might be running in to do a machete attack and end up I just shoot you both.
Nice.
That's what made Left 4 Dead 2 really hard. Left 4 Dead 2 really hard when you put it on expert, because the friendly fire damage was the same as what it was to the enemies. I think.
Extortionate.
Yeah, so you had to be like a tactical team. Like you go in, people at front were crouched. You had to be standing and be like,
It was you that stormed, just gave up with Left 4 Dead 2, wasn't it? When we did that one on expert mode, and
we tried to get.
That got left behind.
Yeah,
because we all did the achievement. And you got left behind, didn't you? Honestly, Roger, we had spent, I don't know, I think we started about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we went probably well deep into the evening.
Yep.
Trying the same mission on expert, just constantly. We finally do it. We finally get to the end, right? And it was the one where you was on the top of the roof.
Yes.
You get to the top of the skyscraper, and then the helicopter comes in and grabs you and flies away.
Hello, I'm a tank.
And right at the end of it, a tank comes out, so you can either do the tank or... Right. And we'd been doing it for hours. We were all irritable, all like, fuck this. If this is the last attempt, if we don't do it, fuck that achievement. I can't be asked anymore, because it was about 12 hours in. We all finally do it, right? The tank comes out. We're all like, right, we'll get the tank over here, distract it, run away, jump on the helicopter at the same time so we all get away quick. Yeah, okay, cool. So we all ran down one end of the building. The tank comes along. We all dive out of the way. And it just goes, oof, and just punches Luke across the map, straight to the floor. And obviously, when you get punched off the building, that's it, you're out.
Yep. You're dead.
So we couldn't revive him either. So we all just basically were like, Well, we're not restarting because we don't want to do it again because we're actually on the helicopter, Luke. So we're done. Obviously, as soon as you complete the level, you can't restart at the checkpoint or anything.
I look at this, Luke, and think that you sacrificed yourself to give them the achievement.
See, they don't see it that way. They just think, oh well, fuck that guy. But actually, this guy's the reason they got that achievement.
You were the hero on this one. You were the Brad Pitt of Left 4 Dead from 1-1-Z. Well,
yeah, see.
So yeah, well, like, I think that's what this game will have, like moments like that of enjoyment. I got to admit, I do miss the tank coming in and just having those moments where it'll punch it and send you flying. It doesn't really have creatures like that, which is going to separate you, which is a shame because they had the licking one as well, which was in Left 4 Dead.
It's the sheer number of them. Like that particular genre of zombie has never been about it mutates into this and then it's really fucking hard. Well, it's literally just like it's the sheer fucking amount of them that get you.
But also, you're in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, you're actually dealing with the director, the game's AI.
Yes,
you're actually against that, and it's like this overseeing thing. Is like, oh, you're walking off over there, Hunter.
Yoink. Yeah.
Good luck with that, mate.
Oh, you're doing really well.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, you've done this pretty quick. Here's a tank and a witch.
And I think they do have that in this, don't they? Like, if you're, it did say I saw a video,
it does have elements
and it was
of
like
that.
If you're doing really well, it will take stuff away from you. Like, but that's very basic.
So, I think when you said the amount of zombies, like the hordes it throws at you,
this is
very impressive. Very impressive. They are kind of like butter to shoot, so you shoot them, they're gone.
They need to be, don't they, at that level? Like,
that amount of them.
Like I'm playing. I'm showing the footage that I did earlier today. This is the Moscow mission, and near the end of this, hopefully, I'll be able to show you the amount that actually ran at us. And at the end, it was like we had to just basically withhold. And I had it on normal difficulty because again, I'm only playing with NPCs. But I just can't comprehend how hard it would have been on like extreme because there was no joke about 300 zombies, possibly more, just trying to get over this fence and coming towards us. And I'm there on this turret, and I only had a certain amount of ammo, and I'm just like, just going at it, and just hoping that they don't get over the wall. And luckily, we managed to do it. But I don't know. I just think this is sort of game. Maybe wait for it to come down in price a little bit. Like down to
I mean, it's already quite reasonable, isn't it?
It's only 30 quid on Epic Store. So.
If you have a little shop around actually and get I know for a PS4 version you get it for 28 quid on one of the shops.
See, this game, it's not really I just haven't bought it yet. I think that's like I thought the price point was quite reasonable. I'm very into it. I've been watching it a lot.
Well, to be honest, if you guys
I just need someone else to get it.
If you guys got it on PC, I'd look to see if I could run it on my PC, which it'll probably be touch and go. But if it does, I'm happy. I'll get it straight away if I can run it.
I mean, personally, from your reaction to both games and stuff like that, and your enthusiasm for them, I'll probably get this first, and then get Days Gone when I see it.
Yeah, but this one you play with friends, so that's
this game
really the same.
Is very shallow on story. Not a lot of story.
Yeah.
It's
Left 4 Dead was very shallow though. That's the thing.
It basically is Left 4 Dead. The amount of content very similar to Left 4 Dead. The one thing that they do introduce in this one is like leveling up. So you'll get multiple classes, and you'll gain currency for depending on how well you do, and you can then unlock new skills for that class. There's about 6 or 7 classes if I'm correct, and also you level up the guns of what you use in that gameplay, which is really interesting. So, for example, if I use there's about 3 or 4 different versions of the shotgun. Now, depending on which shotgun I pick up and start using, then at the end of the level and we complete it, or if we don't complete it, you still gain XP, that gun will level up and you'll gain new attachments that you can use the currency that you've gained to add to it. And that, again, makes it so you might end up favouring a few
really
different
cool.
guns. It's really, really interesting. Again, at the end of it, I'll show off some of the different elements within the menu of like unlocking some attachments, things like that. As you can see on the gameplay here, I'm just picking up the shotgun, and this is the one I use all the way through for this level because I didn't really want to use the SMG.
See that using that gun mechanic and like leveling it up was really good. I remember doing it in a game. It was Medal of Honor. It was like an Xbox 360 Medal of Honor, and this Medal of Honor had where you use it as you use the guns, they level up, but they change as you use them. So like you'll be using like a Mauser pistol or whatever, and then it'll get like an extended mag or whatever. But the more you did it, the better it was.
Right.
And obviously these are very similar to that. Obviously
that
they
was
don't
the Medal of Honor. That was like the really online stuff. I can't remember what it was called.
It was. I don't think it was an online one. It was.
Yeah, you're talking about the multiplayer stuff, I think.
No, it was story. It was story mode. It wasn't online. Yep.
That was definitely Medal of Honor.
Yep, 100%. It was the first game that had it. Like you could do it with the grenades, like leveled up and changed.
What I did like about it when you level up a gun or change attachment, it actually changes the visuals of the gun as well. It's not just it adds like, oh, it's a silencer, but
that's what.
Silencer. Yeah. It does actually add a silencer. Extended mag.
That's what the Medal of Honor did.
That I do like. To be honest, like I said, it's very shallow really in its gameplay, but it has a lot of replayer value. And like, go right, let's go for the next hard level. Let's go for like to be honest, what I would advise you if you both got it, load it up and just bang it on hard straight away, and just go for it. Just go for it. Because I think, to be honest, with you two, with your obviously experience of gameplay, you could complete the first mission on hard from the word go, but also you'll find it really, really hard as well, which will have that difficulty element of it and enjoyment.
I think it's Medal of Honor Airborne, it might have been called.
I never played that
one. No.
It wouldn't have been Airborne because that was an original Xbox game, I believe.
I mean, this is it's pretty old, and it was one of the first games that did this. It was a World War II style one. It was oldie guns.
Oldie guns.
I've just looked at it and just searched Medal of Honor leveling up guns. Sorry, go off a tangent there, but I can't remember what.
No,
Pacific Assault, maybe.
I've just got to admit, I'd love to see you guys play it because I think you, especially for your channel. As soon as I was playing it, I was like, I can see Luke and James playing this and really enjoying it, and it would be entertaining on the channel as well. I was just like, straight away, I was like, this is very much up your guys' street, and I think your experience of it would be highly entertaining for people to watch as well.
I just think we haven't got round to getting it. I think this literally all it is.
Which is crazy because I am watching it now and I'm just like, this is just Left 4 Dead, and I miss Left 4 Dead. So
I really miss Left 4 Dead. As soon as I saw this coming out, I was a bit sort of apprehensive about it when it got announced. I was a bit like, is it going to be like they're trying to aim for Left 4 Dead, but they're going to fall really short? It's basically Left 4 Dead, but just an updated version. But you guys do get it on PC. Let me know because I want to see if it works on mine.
I personally will get it on PC.
I'll buy it again happily. So that's I'm going to say Left 4 Dead, but no, that's World War Z. Obviously, a little bit late after the release of the film, which came out about 4 years ago. No Brad Pitt in this one, but let us know down in the comments if you've played World War Z. What do you think to it? I've been playing on my own, so I've enjoyed that. Obviously, I know that's got a very limited play value of playing it on your own, but with friends, it's going to have great legs. And to be honest, the way that they've set up the missions, because they're quite simplistic, they could add so many more missions to it, because they've done one in, I think it's Tokyo, Moscow, New York, and somewhere else.
I think there's 5 in total, yeah. But they all have submissions in,
yes,
they have like 3 or 4 in checkpoints.
And they follow one as well. So like if you do the first one, the next, like chapter 1 will end in a particular way. Chapter 2 will pick up where you were from chapter 1, and it'll carry on quite with a flow of story. Each location has different characters, so it's different locations. So you'll have like Russian people in Moscow and things like that.
Sorry, it was Medal of Honor Airborne, just to clear things up.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yep. It was on 360, its first release, and it's available on mobile phones and stuff now.
Is it?
Yeah, but it had loads of innovations in it. And one of them was leveling up mid-mission. Like, you'll be shooting it, and the kills go towards it, upgrading itself, and obviously the look of it changes and everything. One of the first games that actually did that, I think. First game I ever played that did it. I played a lot. I played a lot of them.
I'm just watching the gameplay, and I want it really to get to near the end. Actually,
it's a big ass chainsaw. Like that's huge.
So you have.
Is that one of them? Is that like a super weapon or whatever?
Yes.
A special weapon.
So you have your sidearm, you have your primary weapon, and then you have like a special weapon that you can have equipped. Usually your special weapon, it only has a limited amount of ammo. I don't believe you get new ammo for it at all. You just have to drop it once you run out and get another one.
Right.
Obviously, the chainsaw has a set amount of petrol. And then once it's used up, it's gone.
Is there defense here? Is there defense sort of parts where you sort of have to build up little fences and stuff?
Yeah, so there's key elements like it's near the end of this one, but in the first mission,
I love the pyramids they do. The pyramids are so cool.
Oh, when they climb up like the ants climbing up on it.
Yeah, like in the movie. Yeah.
So yeah, there is key moments within certain chapters where you'll have to you get given like 2 minutes to start building up your defenses, and it'll be random what it gives you as well. So it'll like on an easy playthrough, it might give you 2 automated turrets, which is basically 2 extra NPCs. Not on normal, it might give you 2 stationary turrets with some barbed wire. On hard mode, it might just give you all barbed wire, which is again fine, but you need to then make sure you shoot the zombies. So, but then that's random. It doesn't mean that you'll get that every time on easy or that time every time on normal. It totally randomizes it up. That's quite good moments. Like that's going to come at the end in this story. At this point, we're just sort of fending them off because an alarm has gone off. But the end, you'll see a little bit of a moment where I have to set up a manual turret and start using it and start acting like Rambo. But yeah, that's World War Z. That's World War Z. World War Z. Definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, I was very keen on getting it before, but I just didn't get around to doing it. I think it might have been because it was on the Epic Store and I didn't realise it wasn't on Steam.
Yes, it's
exclusive. Yeah, I think that might be why I didn't get it in the end.
What's your personal opinion on the exclusivity of Epic Store compared to Steam and things like that?
To be honest, I didn't give a shit what system thing I play it on.
Toss, yeah.
Okay. That's
because
I was when I kept on seeing it kick in, people kicking off, going, "Oh, it's exclusive! It's so annoying!" And I'm like, "But play it on."
Yeah. I mean, if all your games are on Steam and you've got big picture mode and you've got a Steam box and you can play it on your TV downstairs, and then they go and fucking do the Epic launcher. I know there's a way around to doing it that you could probably play it anyway, but I guess that would be annoying. But like, if you're just going to play it on your computer, you just click on Epic Launcher instead of Steam. Like, I don't understand. I'll go, Jim's got the game, he's bought it on Epic Launcher. I add him as a friend. There you go. We can still play it. Like, it's the same thing like a game coming out on an Xbox and a game coming out on a PS4. It's the same thing, isn't it? If you haven't got an Xbox, you're left out. If you haven't got PS4.
But it confused me. That's all. I was always wondering why people.
Yeah, I don't get why it's a huge thing. But everyone takes things way too far now, don't they? I truly can't figure it out. But I've got games that are on the Ubi store. Like I've got Assassin's Creed. Like back in the day when I used to care about achievements, like I was a proper achievement whore, and I had to get every achievement every game. I even rented games just so I could get achievements. Like I was proper on games like that. So then that's why it took me a little while to get a PS4 free. And I only then on PS3 I only ever played games that were exclusive to it, so that you couldn't get on your 360 because of the achievement thing. And then they brought trophies out, and then it was a bit like, well, it's all kind of meaningless now. and likewise, Steam has Steam achievements. So I guess maybe if you were still doing that, but I mean, I don't really get why.
In the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, does it? Really?
It doesn't really. I don't understand why people complain.
Bill on Facebook says Days Gone is way better than World War Z. That's fair enough. I can understand that. 2 very different games. Very different.
One's multiplayer focused, really, and the other one is single player. Yeah. So yeah, very different games.
To be honest, I think
similar themes.
These 2 games are perfect if you love zombies, because if you get them both, you've got 2 itches which have been scratched. So you've got your single player open world story driven game. Great. When your mates are online, you can go play World War Z with them. It's like,
see, and also I like the idea of zombies, but like, because AI is still not smart enough for me. No. Like, my opinion of difficulties in games should be you crank it up to hard, the AI should be fucking like
doing cartwheels,
genius level. Yeah, like I always hoped when they announced a new generation of console that they would do smarter things, like AI could like be like other players, I guess. You know, that kind of thing. Whereas they just up their health and they're harder to kill. Like,
what up?
So like Forza, where they did like the Drivertron or whatever it is.
Whether it was the driver AI or whatever it is, and they basically just records a version of how you drive and then puts it into AI characters. I can't remember where I was going with this now. I literally forgot the beginning bit of my tangent.
Okay, so you're going to see the wave coming in a moment. Actually, let's just have a little look here. So on the screen, I'm just collecting some gear. We're going to have to protect a helicopter which has crashed, and
that's it. I remembered.
Swarm inbound. It's just kicked in. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So my point was, obviously, zombies. It makes sense they would just mindlessly run straight at you. Whereas, like, you play Division, some of the characters just stand there shooting at you, walking at you, like, you're like, dude, just get in cover. Like, what you doing? Like, you're supposed to be a smart.
With the Witcher,
you just want to stay alive.
The movement of them would be they'd sort of standoffish and sort of wait, and wait for the moment to come in at you, and then they'd attack, and then you had to sort of really be careful.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to prepare. You had to know. You actually know how to fight.
So I'm placing a manual turret down now. I've just placed that down. It was a bit weird because at this point we started getting waves of zombies coming, and even though the wave hadn't started, this was a little bit odd.
Right.
But there was only like
your sidearm seems quite effective. Even though, like your little pistol was quite effective.
To be honest, in the first chapter, if you're playing with NPCs, if you start with the silenced pistol and just get
I just bought it.
You see, Epic should pay me. It's good. It is very, very good. They must have done a massive patch update today because I've done a load of changes because they got a 15 gig patch update on PlayStation 4, which was I was like, what have they changed? But yeah, so
aren't they adding an extra level to the Tokyo one or something?
As far as aware, they were. Yeah, I saw something being tweeted.
I heard something about that.
So okay, the Horde is just down now. If you watch the stream now, you will see the Horde coming in. So I have to
that thing, you know, that one that slams you like this. Reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite's brother. Always comes up behind him.
Oh yeah,
shakes him like that, and he's like, "Oh, stop!"
He grabs him around the back of the neck.
Yeah, and he just shakes it. Yeah,
here they come. Here they come.
The back and he goes,
That's
and then
it. It's just
rubs the back of his neck.
If you look on the screen now, you'll see him.
Yeah,
all coming over the hill.
Yeah, look at it. It's like a tsunami of just
Napoleon Dynamite 2's happening, FYI.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
I love.
And there was a cartoon. I can't remember what Matilda was watching the other day, but it was a kids' cartoon, and there was this like gang of ducks, and one of them was called Napoleon, and it was voiced by Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, cool. David something his name is, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember what cartoon it was. I'll have to find out.
He was also in Blades.
I'm sure it's not hard to Google.
Blades of Glory, yeah.
Oh, he was amazing in that.
Right then, guys, I think that pretty much wraps up the main show for this week in gaming.
Baby,
Jim obviously wants to play, yeah.
Thank you so
I've got to wait for it to download yet, mate.
How big is the file?
I have no idea. It's not telling me.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week, Monday at 8 PM over on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Look at James.
Jim, we'll remember what day it is this time as well. I promise.
Hey, you've got a
23 gig it is.
Got a new 23. That's not too bad, actually. That's not a bad size.
No, not too bad.
But you've got a new puppy, so that's fair enough.
Yeah, it was killing. It's made me a bit tired, but I'll be alright.
Thanks so much, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed my sort of roundup of Days Gone. Hopefully it didn't feel too negative.
Great.
What you've done is you've reinforced the fact that I want it because there was. This is going to sound strange, but there's nothing that you told me that overwhelmed me with pure negativeness. There was nothing in there that made me go, yeah, I don't want it. Everything, like, there was some negatives, I guess, like mini negatives, but everything else you said just overwhelmed it and just made up for it entirely. Like all the little funny stories you came out with, I know some of them were bugs and shouldn't have happened, but they did, but they were still funny. And just you said that you have been enjoying it and stuff like that, but you just don't know if you'll push yourself to the end of the game. I mean, I think I will thoroughly enjoy it. However, what you've done for me is gone, okay, I will enjoy it, but I'll enjoy it much more only paying £20 for it than £40 for it.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Because then I'll probably be more inclined to not be pissed off at it.
Pretty sure that was my point.
I got it cheap, so I'm quite happy. Well, no, because you didn't know, you haven't played it, have you? So you didn't know what it was. I know you said
need to wait to pay for it when it's cheaper.
But that wasn't based on how good the game was. That was just your circumstances.
My intuition, yeah.
You're both correct. And on that bombshell, we will see you all next week.
Boom!
Bye-bye!
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
What?
Fireworks,
mate.
Oh.